Hey, friend, come a little closer. I need to tell you something. Something they never wanted you to know. It's a secret about the power locked inside your own mind. A truth that's been hidden in plain sight. You know that feeling, right? That deep, soul-crushing exhaustion. The one that makes you feel like your spirit is running on empty and your focus is just gone, like smoke in the wind. You feel overwhelmed, like the world is a giant wave and you're just trying to keep your head above water. I've been there. What if I told you that feeling, that heavy blanket of burnout you think is so real, is a lie, a grand illusion, a sacred test? To be honest, this message I'm sharing isn't for just anyone. It's a key, and it's only for those who feel a deep stirring in their soul right now, a sense that there's a door waiting to be unlocked to a power you've only dreamed of. If this is hitting you in that deep place, that's no accident. It's a sign. Your divine timing, your awakening, is here. Don't let this moment pass. Acknowledge that you feel this connection, that you're ready. Give this a like, subscribe so you don't miss what's next, and go to the comments right now and type, "I am ready." Declare it. Because what we're about to walk through together is going to change everything you thought you knew about yourself. Okay, let's get real. For years, I believed the story they sold us. The story that fatigue is a red light, a sign that your tank is empty. But that's not the whole truth. It's more like a ghost in your own machine, a defense mechanism your brain built for a world that doesn't exist anymore. Think about it. Our minds weren't originally designed to write symphonies or build empires. In the beginning, they had one job: keep us alive. Back when we were out on the savannah, every calorie was precious. Wasting energy could literally get you killed. So, the brain developed this brilliant, life-saving trick. It learned to create the feeling of being tired, that magnetic pull toward distraction, that nagging voice telling you to stop. It wasn't because you were actually out of fuel, but because it was trying to keep you safe, to keep you in the low-power mode of survival. It's an ancient guardian, and its programming is still running in the background of your mind. But here's the thing, you're not on the savannah anymore. You're in a different kind of wilderness now, a battle for influence, for mastery, for spiritual and psychological power. And that same survival instinct, that ghost of a forgotten world, has become the invisible chain around your ankle. It's holding you back. Honestly, I believe it's one of the most subtle but powerful traps for the human spirit. Until you look it in the eye and decide to dismantle it, you'll always be playing a smaller game than you were destined for. You'll be a pawn to your own biology, a servant to an old story. Now, I need you to really hear this. That mental fatigue you feel, it's not a physical fact, it's an emotion, it's a signal, but you've been misinterpreting it. The ancient mystics understood this, and modern science is finally catching on. They've done studies, where they look at the brains of people who say they're completely mentally exhausted. And what do they find? Their brains are still firing, full of untapped reserves of focus and power. The well isn't dry, not even close. That feeling of exhaustion is just your brain's opening offer in a negotiation. It whispers, "Hey, this is getting a little tough. How about we scroll on our phones for a bit? Let's get a snack. Let's just stop." It even throws in those self-sabotaging thoughts, like, "I'm probably not smart enough for this anyway." Or the classic, "I'll be much better at this tomorrow." Sound familiar? These aren't signs of a true limit. They are the protest of an outdated system that is terrified of sustained effort. For most of my life, I lost that negotiation every single day. But the people who achieve incredible things, the ones who seem to operate on a different frequency, they don't just negotiate with that voice, they dominate it. They've learned that the first wave of tiredness isn't a wall, it's a doorway. On the other side of that phantom barrier is where the real power begins. Most people turn back right there. They tell themselves, "I deserve a break," and they call it self-care. But the legendary mind, the one that will truly last, sees that feeling as the first checkpoint, not the finish line. When everyone else is running from that discomfort, you have to be the one who learns to lean into it, to push through it, and to use it as the very fuel for your fire. But just pushing through isn't enough. I thought it was, and for a while, I ran myself ragged. I learned the hard way that once you conquer the illusion of fatigue, you come face to face with an even more cunning enemy: friction. Even with all the energy in the world, if your environment is a chaotic mess, you're still set up to fail. You have to realize you're in a silent, invisible war, every single minute of every day. It's a war for your focus, and the enemy's weapons are everywhere. Every little ping from your phone, every distracting sound you just tune out, every single browser tab you leave open, just in case. These aren't just minor annoyances, my friend. They are cognitive parasites. They are tiny little cuts that, alone, seem like nothing. But over the course of a day, a week, they leave you bleeding out your mental energy without you even knowing why you feel so drained. Let me break it down for you. Every time you get distracted, it's not just the 30 seconds you lose looking at that notification. The real cost, the hidden cost, is the 20 to 30 minutes it takes your brain to get back into that deep, productive focus you were in before. Most people spend their entire lives in this state of constant interruption. They think they're staying connected, but really, they're enslaved. There's a dark law of mental thermodynamics at play here. The more friction you allow in your world, the weaker your mind becomes. But the flip side is where the magic is. The cleaner, the more intentional your environment, the more superhuman your focus becomes. If you're really serious about this, you have to become a warrior. You have to wage absolute war on friction. Your space, your digital life, your entire environment, it shouldn't just be clean. It needs to be designed as a weapon. Every single thing around you should either be accelerating your mind or it needs to be ruthlessly eliminated. This is how the masters do it. This is how they build what I call a cognitive fortress. First, you have to purge all the open loops in your life. You know what I'm talking about: every unfinished task, every cluttered surface, every little "I should really get to that" nagging at the back of your mind. These things are like energy vampires. They leak your attention, even when you're not actively thinking about them. You have to be ruthless. Finish them, delegate them, or consciously decide to let them go. Close the loops. Second, you have to kill all passive inputs. No more endless scrolling through social media. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Shut down your email when you need to focus. You have to build high walls around your attention. Make it physically inconvenient to get distracted. Log out of your apps. Put your phone in another room. Use website blockers. The goal is to create friction for distraction and absolute freedom for focus. Third, you have to anchor your environment to your mission. Your space should be a temple dedicated to your purpose. Fill it with symbols of your goals, powerful quotes, meaningful objects, a specific playlist that puts you in a state of battle readiness, not relaxation. You need to create a ritual for entering the zone. For me, it's lighting a specific candle and playing the same instrumental track. It's a signal. The body learns the ritual, and it triggers the mind. This is a deep psychological shift. You have to stop treating your attention like it's a free-for-all buffet, where any person or any random thought can just walk up and take a piece. You need to become a predator of focus. You will guard your energy with a cold, merciless calculation. You won't let pointless conversations steal your time. You won't let background noise weaken your clarity. You won't chase every flicker of boredom with a new shiny object. Focus isn't something you just hope for, my friend. It's a fortress you build and a territory you defend with blood and fire. In this war, you're either the master of your environment or you are its prisoner. There is no in-between. So you've faced the illusion of fatigue, and you've built your fortress against friction. Now it's time for the final piece of the puzzle, the true art form, triggering that state of neural flow whenever you command it. Let's be honest, most people only find that state by accident. A good day, a random burst of inspiration, and suddenly they're in the zone. But that's leaving your power up to chance. You are going to learn to trigger it on command, like a master warrior drawing their sword, no hesitation, no delay. You need to understand what flow really is. It's not just being focused. It's a profound shift in your entire neurology. It's that magical state where time seems to melt away. Hours pass like minutes. That nagging inner critic, that voice of self-consciousness, it goes completely silent. And your performance, your ability to think and create, it doesn't just get a little better, it skyrockets by 500 to 700%. It sounds insane, but it's true. Flow is your mind's ultimate weapon. When you're in it, your mind connects ideas faster than you can keep up. Your reflexes are razor sharp. Your memory is flawless, and creativity just pours out of you. You stop trying to do the thing. You become the thing. And listen, this isn't some mystical gift for the chosen few. It's a state that is engineered by very specific psychological conditions. And once you learn how to create those conditions, flow becomes a lever that you can pull anytime you want. So, what's stopping you? There are three main enemies of flow. The first is what I call cognitive friction, that mental chaos of trying to juggle too many tasks and conflicting priorities at once. You can't get into that deep, smooth current of flow if your mind is a chaotic mess of rapids. The solution: ruthless single-tasking. You pick one mission, one single objective, and you pour every ounce of your being into it. Nothing else exists. The second barrier is having a low entry cost. If you try to just gently ease into a hard task, you'll never get there. Your brain is lazy. It needs a shock to the system, a powerful jolt to get it over the threshold into that high-performance state. The solution here is to start with the most brutal, mentally violent part of your task first. Force the ignition. Don't warm up. Dive into the deep end. The third barrier is having escape routes. If your brain knows your phone is just a reach away, or that a distracting website is just a click away, it will never fully commit. It will always keep one foot out the door. The solution is to burn the boats. Erase every possible exit. Make flow the only path forward, because flow demands a sacrifice at the gate. It demands you give up your comfort, your distractions, and your hesitation. This is what I call the dark ritual of forced entry. It's how you override your own mind's resistance and force yourself into that incredible state of neural flow. Step 1. Pre-commit to the mission. Before you do anything else, you decide with absolute, unshakable certainty what task will consume your focus. No changing your mind, no improvising, no, maybe I'll just. It's set in stone. Step 2. Set a brutal initiation challenge. You pick the hardest, most difficult part of that task, and you attack it first. This initial shock jolts your brain out of its complacency and forces it to mobilize its deepest resources. Step 3. Block all escape with physical barriers. Your phone is off and in another room. Your internet blockers are on. You have one window open on your computer. You make it physically hard to give in to distraction. Step 4. Trigger your priming ritual. This is your anchor. For me, it's a specific song, a lit candle, a ticking timer. This creates a sensory cue that your nervous system starts to associate with deep work, making it easier to enter flow each time. Step 5. Sprint past the pain barrier. The first 20 to 30 minutes are going to feel like wading through mud. It will be slow, scattered, and weak. This is your brain's old survival programming screaming at you to stop. You have to ignore it. You have to push through without judgment. Then, around the 30 or 40-minute mark, something incredible happens. Your brain recalibrates, the resistance fades, and the doors to flow swing wide open. And once you're in that state, friend, your productivity doesn't just add up, it multiplies. A 5-hour task gets done in 45 minutes. A problem that seemed overwhelming becomes automatic. Why? Because once your brain is fully engaged, it stops resisting. It stops trying to save energy and just dumps all of its resources into the mission. You're tapping into power reserves that are normally reserved for life or death situations. Suddenly, all the noise, the doubts, the fatigue, it all just becomes background static. You don't have to cope with it anymore because you've left it far behind. This is the real reason most people never experience true flow. They get a glimpse of it, but they pull back because they're afraid of the intensity it demands. Flow is an all-or-nothing game. It demands total commitment. You either burn through that initial resistance, or you stay mediocre forever. And most people, sadly, they choose the safer, easier path. They choose the comfort of never really going all in. But you're not most people, are you? A rare few, the ones who feel they were built for more. They will answer this call. They will sacrifice. They will evolve. And while everyone else is wondering why their dreams just quietly faded away, you will be moving with a silent, relentless power toward a level of mastery they can't even comprehend. So you've done it. You've seen the truth behind mental fatigue. You've learned to build an environment that's a weapon for your focus. You know how to ignite neural flow on command. But there's a final, critical law you must understand, or all of this will be for nothing. Even the strongest, most overclocked mind can burn out. Think of it like this. Even a nuclear reactor, if you push it past its design limits, will eventually go into meltdown. Your power is immense, but it is not infinite. If you operate at that peak cognitive level without a strategy for recovery, you will collapse. You won't bend the world to your will. You will be broken by your own ambition. And that, my friend, is the fatal mistake of so many overachievers. They get a taste of that flow state, and they become addicted to it. They try to live there 24/7. They start to think they're invincible, and they ignore the subtle warning signs from their own body and spirit. Their sleep starts to erode. Their emotions become volatile. Their creativity dries up, and their once unbreakable discipline turns into a brittle exhaustion. They don't even see it happening until it's too late. And their mind, which was once a fortress, starts to rot from the inside out. This isn't weakness. It's the inevitable trap of burnout closing in. You can't avoid burnout if you're living at the absolute edge of your potential, but you can control it. You can learn to treat it not as a failure, but as a strategic part of your cycle of growth. This is the art of controlled burnout. It's what I call the legend cycle. It's the rhythm, the pattern that the truly great performers have used throughout history to endure for decades, not just years. Here's how it works. Cycle 1. Strategic overclocking. This is a period of 4 to 6 weeks where you go all out. Your days are ruthlessly structured. Your focus is absolute. You give no mercy to distractions. You push your limits. Cycle 2. Calculated deceleration. This lasts for 1 to 2 weeks. And this is crucial. This is not collapse, and it is not laziness. This is active mental recovery. During this time, you have silent reflection sessions at least 30 minutes a day of just pure thought, with no input, no books, no podcasts, no conversations. Just you and your mind, recalibrating, reforging your internal drive. You do a deliberate dopamine reset. No social media, no junk food, no cheap entertainment. You retrain your brain to find pleasure in deep thought and solitude. You enter a long-form study mode, reading complex materials slowly, not for speed, but to recondition your mind for deep absorption. You do physical flow activation, light walking, mobility drills to reconnect your mind and body without stressing your nervous system. And you engage in minimalist creation, sketching ideas, writing drafts to keep the creative engine humming without the pressure of perfection. Then comes cycle 3, the reinforced return. After this strategic recovery, you return to high-intensity work, but you're not the same. You are stronger, sharper, and more resistant to fatigue than ever before. You see, this isn't about resting as a reward. This is about resting as a weapon. Every cycle sharpens the blade. Every controlled burnout becomes an upgrade. And while others around you flicker and fade, you just grow darker, deeper, and more inevitable. So here we are. The choice is yours. You have 2 paths in front of you. You can let this just be another inspiring video, a little spark that feels good for a moment but gets lost in the noise of your old life. Or you can make today the day everything changed. The day you stopped negotiating with your mind and started commanding it. The day you entered a silent war that no one else can see, but everyone will feel the results of when you win. This was never just about working harder. It was about waking up to the truth that your mind is a divine weapon you've been tricked into misusing. But now you know where the door is. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. Your mind is capable of more than just surviving. It's capable of supremacy. So forge it, bleed for it, burn brighter than everyone around you who has settled for dimness. And when they ask you how you did it, you can just smile and say nothing, because you will know the truth. You didn't just find flow, you forged it. You are not normal anymore. Normal minds obey fatigue and live in chaos. You know the forbidden truths now. Exhaustion is a liar. Your environment is either your weapon or your prison. Flow can be commanded. And burnout is a tool, not an end. You are no longer trapped. You are building a new operating system. But remember, this knowledge is just the beginning. The world will test you the second you turn away from this. Distraction will call to you. Comfort will whisper your name. Most people will fold. They will pretend they never heard the call. But a rare few, the ones built for more, will answer. They will sacrifice and evolve. And when the rest wonder what happened to their dreams, you'll be moving silently toward a destiny they can't even comprehend. You're here to learn the art of burning fiercely and then rising, stronger than ever, from your own ashes. Most people work until they break. You will work smart until you are unstoppable. Because a mind that masters its own burnout becomes a mind that can never be destroyed.